All right, sorry about the technical difficulties, family. Somebody get into the chat. Let me know if we are not chopping, if we're not chopping any longer. Hopefully not. All right, now we're looking good. Perfect. All right, we are back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. So I got to start over. Welcome to the Real Truth and Power Live podcast, where we provide health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Hopefully you guys can hear me and I won't take too much of your time. Wanted to talk real quick, and I want to just start everything, make sure I get everything out. I want to kick a shout out to a strong positive sister, Miss Valencia Esther. She is the CEO of Super Investors. So if you want to start learning yourself, or you want to start teaching your kids about economic literacy, financial literacy, she does board games and games. So it's real easy to teach. It's real easy for her to teach and for you to teach and learn. So go to superinvestors.org. We were supposed to do a show with her, but unfortunately it did not work out. So we are going to get her back on. Her father passed, so we know he's with the ancestors now. So we just want to give her our love and support. And also, we are going to be bringing in Brother Jay Rich again. So hopefully we can get Brother Jay Rich into the fold. But if not, we'll have him call in. And I know hopefully you guys can see this video better. I'm going to play it again on Brother Dr. Umar. And we are talking about interracial relationships and is it hurting the black community from obtaining black power. So let's check this first video, and hopefully it's not choppy.
People talking. One of them dealt with your views on interracial marriage.
Yes, sir.
And so, so explain that for folks who did not hear it.
Certainly. Simply put, any black man who is with a woman who's not an African herself is going to have a difficult time getting respect from me. I believe black men need to be with black women. The black family is under attack. Only 1 out of every 4 black women gets married. The black woman is last likely to get married. She's the last married, the first divorced. We have what? 2/3 of our children being raised by working class and impoverished single black female-led house homes. The destruction of a nation begins in the home of its families. And if we want to save black people, we have to save the black family. And in order to do that, black men have to commit themselves to black women.
So when you talk about not getting your respect, so if that's the case, you're saying President Barack Obama didn't get your respect because his dad married a white woman?
Oh, not at all.
Would Harry Belafonte?
Not at all. I want to be very clear about something. As Pan-Africanists, the product of an interracial union is an African. I have heroes who are biracial. Some of the grandfathers of Pan-Africanism were of mixed racial ancestry. You don't blame a child for how they got here.
But I'm asking you this here. Harry Belafonte has a white wife. No respect for him?
It would be it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your social status.
So no. I didn't say social. I'm talking about the one who put the work in.
Right, but you put him out.
No. I'm asking you. So Harry Belafonte.
Yes, sir.
Sidney Poitier, Julian Bond, Vernon Jordan.
And you're naming all them to say what?
No, these are all African American men who have
done some good things.
No, who have married white women. But you said any black man who marries a white woman will not get your respect.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
And what I'm telling you is this. I don't care who you name. I don't care how much work you did for black people. Your greatest commitment to black people is being committed to a black woman. It is still a contradiction. No matter how much you think you did for the struggle, if you really were concerned with black people, you would have committed yourself to a black woman. So it doesn't matter how successful they are. It doesn't matter how great you may claim them to be. At the end of the day, you didn't think enough about your own people to marry a woman who looks like.
Wow. So hopefully that was a lot better. We're going to look at a whole bunch of different sides of this element of what the doctor said. and I'm going to bring on a white sister. She's going to give her input so we can look at all sides. And I'm going to bring in Brother Jay Rich, who's a Muslim brother, and he's going to give his side. But let me play video number 2 real quick so we can make sure they're calling in and we're good to go.
Not his. Marrying outside of your race for an African man anywhere on earth is one of the greatest acts of racial betrayal, treason, and treachery. It is absolutely intolerable and disrespectful to black women. With so few black women finding husbands, how do you find it within your soul to marry somebody else's daughter who you know is only eloping with you because you have education, income, economics, privilege, position, or property? These women are not marrying poor black men. They're marrying well-educated black men on purpose. It has nothing to do with love. If it was about love, why can't we find rich East Indian women, rich Chinese women, rich white women marrying poor black men? Why is it always well-educated and stable black men marrying poor white women, Chinese women, or East Indian women? In Africa right now, we have situation in Nigeria where African women are marrying Chinese men. Chinese men are exploiting these women's desire to marry outside of their race and hopefully improve their economic stability. So sisters are reaching out for the Chinese men because they're poor. And when they see the Chinese face, they assume that all of them are wealthy, which is not true. In fact, most of the Chinese coming into Africa are coming there poor, but they become rich.
So that was deep. That was deep. I want to know you guys' opinion on this because, you know, this is a deep topic that we need to discuss. And first of all, let me see if I got Brother Jay Rich and Magenta Praire on the line, and we're going to get some conversation in. If you have anything to say about this topic, you can also make a comment. If you're on Facebook, on The Real Truth and Power on YouTube, or call in and let your voice be heard. Let me see if I have them on right now so I can get them in. Brother Jay Rich, is this you? Brother Jay Rich. So while we're waiting for Brother Jay Rich to let me call my brother right now and get him into the fold. Hold on one second. And we will bring Brother Jay Rich in and talk about a very important topic. Let me call him and see his opinion on this matter. Hold on one second. And if you would like to call, please call. I see the phone lines are lighting up. So this is going to be a definitely an important topic. Let me call him in now and get Magenta Praire and Brother Jay Rich on the line. Let me call him right now. Hold on one second. We're waiting on Brother Jay Rich to pick up.
Oh, I'm here, bro.
Oh, you there? My brother. All right. We got you in. I didn't hear you, so I'm glad we got you in. All right. So I hope you was able to hear Dr. Umar. What did you think about what the brother said?
I think that Dr. Umar is a very opinionated person or what have you, and I'll just leave it at that. I mean, we all, we all have our own opinions of things. Let me give you an example. So you have, I'm in school. We're in school, and had a good friend. Me and them roommates hooked up. We're at a party. He's trying to talk to, there's only like a handful of black people up here. At the school. It's 99.9% white, It's not even really any Asians or like Hispanics there. It's all white and a handful of blacks, So we go to a party, and there's, a couple of females he want to talk to, but they're like, oh, he's weird, he's this, he's that, such and such, or he seems a little off, or whatever, you know what I mean? None of these females that he's trying to talk to wants to talk to him, So he ended up getting like a little job on the side, because, we got to pay our own tuition and everything. He meets a female. She happens to be white, completely interested in him, She doesn't care about his awkwardness, doesn't care about, the other little things that all these other females, and like I said, we ain't really have a lot to choose from, So was I supposed to step in and be like, oh, nah, man, you know what I mean? You bringing us all down, this black man by dating this white woman. No. He's not dating a race. He's dating a person. And if him and that person have a bond together, then so be it. And if the situation was reversed, where it was a black woman that could not find a compatible black man, and she ended up finding a Hispanic guy or a white guy, whose business is it anyone to come in and tell them that, oh, no, you can't do that, you know what I mean? You're destroying our unity. Because you have to stop and ask yourself, where are we unified?
Now, let me ask you this, because I know you are a brother that you are very much into uniting the black community and things of that nature. I want to take your opinions of Dr. Umar aside for a minute, because he did touch on a very important topic of the black family, being together. So say, for example, supporting black-owned businesses. Is being halfway in a relationship with a black person, meaning, let me break that down again, being in an interracial relationship with another race, will that compromise your goal of uplifting the black community?
Absolutely not. The only thing that's going to interrupt your goal and uplifting the black community is your desire to uplift the black community. It doesn't make a difference who you live in and you sleep with, you marry. If your goal is to uplift the black community, just because you couldn't find a compatible mate within the black community does not necessarily mean that you are not down for the black community. So you can still go shopping at the black stores. You can still go and do all the things that you wouldn't have done. You can still go on I Buy Black. You can still go to the sister's website, Super Investors, and find out ways to teach your children. Just because your mate is not of the same race, so-called racism, doesn't then automatically eliminate you being a part of that race. It doesn't mean that you are no longer trying to uplift that race. And what I was saying before, if a black woman lays down with an Asian man and has a child, that child is black. If a black man lays down and has a child with a white woman, that child is black. We are still raising a black nation.
That's a very interesting thing that you said. I definitely agree. I'm about to bring in a sister that is white, and I definitely want to get her opinion on this, because this is definitely a topic that I want to discuss. I want to get everybody to get into the conversation. I want to get everybody to be heard. Hold on real quick, Jay Rich. I'm gonna have you both on the line at the same time, and then I see 6971. You'll be next. Sister Magenta, are you on the line?
I am.
Thank you so much. Sorry about those technical difficulties again, but we got you here. We want your voice heard, so thank you so much for your patience and this and what we're doing here. I'm gonna try to bring a picture of you on the screen if I can. There we go. Hopefully everybody can see you. And what is your opinion of what Dr. Umar said, you being a white woman? Do you believe that, let me ask you this first, do you believe that white men or white people and black people are interracial? Do you believe in interracial? Do you believe that can work?
I do. I will tell you, as a white woman, what I've observed with other white women in particular, dating black men in particular, is a lot of the times there's really, like, typically in the white community, when we are friends and intimate with people in the black community, a lot of the time the discussion of taboo, quote unquote taboo, things like with race, not discussed on the white person, that's depressing or that's not their problem. And the type of woman that I am is I'm an activist, and I love to discuss these types of things that are taboo. And so for me, I say quote unquote taboo, for me, it's an opportunity to enlighten each other and learn about that culture and abolish white supremacy and whitewashing in this society that we live in the world, really, but in America in particular. And a lot of times when I see white women date a white man, a good example I can give you is typically a lot of the times when I see them have children, they don't even bother to learn how to do that child's hair or take care of the skin. And the fact that I understand and know that is because I've been intimate with men that are in the black community. I've been friends. I've taken the time to learn about the culture, the people, and the heritage, and I honor that and I respect that. And so to me, if I see that to me just says, well, as it's like a white privilege thing. Well, that's not my problem. Why should I have? Because that's part of taking care of your child and learning about the culture. And so for me, I take it as, I think it's a beautiful opportunity to enlighten each other and create unity. But unfortunately, I do see a lot of times, I can see where the black community has qualms about that, because I do see a lot of people in the white community, white women in particular, that do not always have the best intentions when dating a black man.
Now, go back to that. You being a white woman, saying that in the white community, the white part does not have especially white women. You're speaking from a woman's point of view. And just go slow because you were breaking up, but I heard you. I don't know if everybody else heard you. You were saying that the white women don't have the relationship's best interests. Go into that a little bit deeper for me.
I feel like a lot of times there's a lot of, it's more like a physical thing. It's a fetish. Like, I see a lot, well, let me date this black guy and make my racist dad mad. Kind of like get one. I see stuff like that happen a lot. That is not my intention. If I date a man, I date him for who he is. Yes, there's going to be things I find physically attractive about him. Like, I've been very upfront with men in the black community. I'm not dating you because I have a fetish with you. I'm dating you because I like you and I want to get to know you. And I do like to have those conversations about race and equity and all of those things. I like to put those things out on the table because I want to learn. I want to learn outside of that white race, that white supremacy mentality. And that's how I've done it, by getting to know people in the black community and in the indigenous communities. And to me, that's a beautiful thing. That's how things like racism and hatred get defeated.
That was very interesting and definitely very deep. Brother Jay Rich, would you like to respond?
I agree with her. Like I said, you know what I mean? You're not dating a whole race. You're dating one person. And it's been seen on both sides. And I've been in situations where, yes, like she said, I felt that, you know what I mean? It was a couple of white women that, you know what I mean, were coming after me just to make, like she said, just to make the parents mad. That was it, you know what I mean? It was just, you know what I mean, like a get back. And working in Glen Burnie, I had a particular job where we dealt with like the public, and a lot of people were calling in and everything else or what have you. And it came to the point where we realized that a lot of like these people that were calling in and they were upset and mad that we had the positions that we had as black men. And it came, you know what I mean, and visiting their houses and seeing their granddaughters were dating black men. So then they're calling, they need some type of assistance, and it's a black man answering the phone. You know, and you feel it. All those people, you people, you know, and those jobs from those good girls. You people did this. You people did that. You people did this. And you know, and for someone to have the courage, people don't understand what it means, you know what I mean, to bring a white woman home to an all-black family. They don't understand what it means to bring a black guy home to an all-white family, to bring a black woman home and to bring into an where some of these realize that just because you know what I mean, we look at, you know what I mean, interracial relationships, there's some societies that will cut that off.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother J. Rich. Hold on, brother J. Rich.
Huh?
Hold on. You said cut what off? You mentioned in some.
They will disown them. They will stop talking to them.
Okay. Hold on one second. I want to keep you guys on the line. I'm going to bring in a caller. I thought you said cut the jewels off or something for interracial relationships. I was, oh goodness. Hold on. Caller 6971. Welcome to the Real Truth and Power Live show. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, Everett? This is Mark.
Hey, what's going on, my brother Mark Beckwith? What's up with you, brother?
What's up with you?
What do you say? I know you. I know.
Agree with the. I don't really have a question. I really have my input on it.
Go ahead, drop the knowledge.
Because I'm not. I said, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you better now. Go ahead.
All right, I wasn't. I agree with Brother Umar, but to an extent. If a woman, the white woman that you meet, understands the struggle the black man and black people themselves have to go through, understands that, then I could say it's worth it. But if you learn a reading of some selfish thing, I like light-skinned women, I like white women, I can go for them, they listen to me more. I don't agree with that, because you're putting all black women in the show. I mean, one gets fed all understand. They're not submissive enough. They're this, they're not that. They're both. But as a black man, I have my opinion also that I like black women. I could not imagine myself with any other race outside of my race because of my struggles myself as a black man.
That you struck something deep there. Before I let them comment on that, Mark. So let me ask you this. And I want to make sure I got you understanding your struggles as a black man. You would think it would be difficult to go outside of your race because, you know, you guys need to be united. A black woman will understand your pain longer and better, correct?
Exactly. Because they made races races are made for a reason. And it's not to be against the white man. but loving your own race of people.
Magenta, are you there? Hold on, Mark. I'm gonna get a little dialogue with you. I'm gonna go with Magenta and then Brother Jay Rich, and then we're gonna open it up. Magenta, hopefully you understood the caller. What do you say about him being a white woman and you've been in interracial relationships? What do you say to him as far as him saying, you know, what he just said?
I absolutely. One thing that crosses my mind when I've been involved with a man in the Black community is I try to understand everything that you just said. I'm sorry, Mark? Is it Mark?
Yes.
It's something that a lot of white people are not sensitive to, they're ignorant to, and they overlook. It's something that I think about a lot, that bringing a Black man home to an all-white family, I can't imagine, like, the anxiety, the fear of rejection. There's just a whole layer of challenge that gets added to that. And it does cross my mind, you know, that's got to be really scary for that individual. And that's something that people in the white community with white privilege, they'll never understand that. I don't get that, you know, but it's that I guess I overstand it. I don't know what the word, like, I can't understand, like, I don't live that life, but I'm sensitive to it and I'm compassionate to it, if that makes any sense. Like, it crosses my mind, and it's a conversation I would have with my significant other in those situations. And I would make it very clear to him, I have your back. And I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not even talking to my father right now or my sister. So, and some of it has to do with my activism, racial equity and activism. And so I'm very, like, I am who I say I am. So that is something I think about. And unfortunately, I know a lot of white people don't, and they won't even broach that subject with their partner. And that's unfortunate. And that's something that I'm very, like, I'll put that to the front for people to think about when they're in an interracial relationship.
That was deep. That was deep. Brother Mark, let me ask you something, and then I'm going to let Brother Jay Rich go in. Mark, what would you say to a brother like Jay Rich? He's a Black man, and he says it's okay. He feels it's okay to be in an interracial relationship. What would you say to him?
I agree with him. I don't think the mixing of the races is the problem. It's the acknowledging the difference of an interracial relationship. You need to know one's background, so, and their understanding of, if I had a white wife, I'm quite sure she would probably have more privilege than I would have because of her skin complexion. But at the same time, she's going to feel the injustices that I get when she's around me. But she has to understand my pain, and I have to understand her privilege. Most of us look at a relationship and try to make those things work. They have to work. You can't make it work. It has to work. Like, I had my wife's father had married a white woman, and we get along perfect. She understands his problem, and he understands her problem. So those things don't get involved. So those things don't become part of the scale because y'all two understand. Me being a Black man, I'm dealing with certain things. She knows she's going to get the shit under the stick when Black women see him with her. And he didn't marry her because of her skin complexion. They were two people that understood each other. That's why I say a relationship has to do with understanding each other, not about your skin complexion.
Brother J. Rich.
If it becomes a problem,
finish up, Mark. Go ahead.
If your relationship becomes a race problem, there is a problem. If one of y'all feel, bent out of shape because one explaining out their problems, there is a problem, because a relationship should be open. And I don't mean sexual, I mean open, where though things happen.
Brother J. Rich,
things happen. Are you willing to, what they say in marriage, better or worse? Are you going to be with me when I'm at my worst?
Hold on real quick, Mark, because I want to.
But that's a relationship,
right? Hold on real quick. I want Brother J. Rich to respond on your comment, and I also, Brother J. Rich, when Magenta first started, she talked about there's something that struck with me about how a lot of the white ladies are in it for sexual, the taboo. So go into a little bit about that and what Brother Mark was saying.
Hey man, Brother Mark out here, man, he laying it down, man. I agree with him 100%. As long as you're with somebody, it's different when you are with somebody like they both said, they're with you for like some type of taboo. Because if they're with you with some type of taboo, it's not going to last. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna both get it in, do whatever y'all need to do, and then y'all gonna go y'all separate ways because you're gonna realize that you don't really have anything in common anyway. You know what I mean? So it's going to fail because it's built on failure from the very start. Other than that, man, if you can find somebody that is willing, like you said, man, I mean, and that's a beautiful thing. Brother E, man, you've been married for like I don't know how long, you know what I mean? But when you find somebody that is willing to go through those struggles with you, and you're willing to go through those struggles, and y'all willing to grow together, then that's the only thing that really matters. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that really matters. When you get into like the taboo part, then you have to start separating, you know what I mean, building a family or just having fun. You know what I mean? Because there's a big difference, you know what I mean, between building a family. And that's one of the problems that, you know what I mean, we have now. We have people laying down, just want to have some fun, but they don't use any protection to stop them from being able to start a family, So then now you have these situations where you're bringing these children in the middle of these convoluted relationships that was just about sex. So if it's just about sex, you leave it about sex, and you can continue going on with like whatever movement or whatever it is, you know what I mean, whatever's on your agenda, because y'all just having fun. And as adults, we all understand it. You know what I mean? You just hooking up just 1-2 times. This is something, you know what I mean? Shorty, don't call me until 3 a.m, you know what I mean, when you want me to come over there. Other than that, don't talk to me. Let's be adults. We've all seen those type of relationships. But when you start talking about building a family, then that person has to understand your background. You have to understand that person's background. I agree with Brother Mark 100%. 100%. The whole taboo thing, leave it at a taboo. If that's what you're going to do, hey, man, you got this fetish for, like, Asian women. You got this fetish for Indian women. You got this fetish, and they got a fetish for a black guy or black woman or what have you. Then go and do whatever you're going to do. But make sure if that's not the person that you want to start a family with, then use all precaution to make sure that you don't start a family with that person.
Brother Mark, before I let you go, I'm going to let you to close. I want you to close out. But before you close out, talk a little bit about, you said your father married a white woman. Did he have a lot of pressure to go through in that situation? How did you deal with the lady being white? You accepted it. She showed you love. You didn't see any issues with that as far as you being raised as a black man, correct?
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know when he got married. I kind of met him in the beginning of their relationship.
Okay.
And I am still good friends. The thing about it is his ex-wife, which is my mother-in-law, all get along. And what I was trying to say was, what don't work for you, what don't work for everybody, shouldn't make another person find their purpose. And that's why I say I agree with Brother Umar. I believe a black man's first preference should be a black woman, because of us being black men had black mothers or black fathers. So they're going to understand us more than any other race. But if you happen to find a friend that's not your race, and that person understands you, and you understand that person, regardless sex, gender, whatever, they understand you. Love is the hardest thing to create. And you will always find the vision when you look for an issue, something as small as 8 inches of skin, 8 centimeters, whatever, of skin. This should not deter your purpose. I love black women. I can't say it over and over, but there's some men out there that really like light-skinned women. I don't love my wife for that reason. I love my wife for what she understands about me. And I understand the things about her. Now, if she was another color, that would have been cool, because she understood me. And if anybody know me, marriage was the last thing on my mind. But I found somebody that understood me, and she so happens to be black. I think the issue becomes that some people are afraid of change. Change is the scariest thing in the world because it's the unknown.
Well, Brother Mark,
nobody has yet.
I was going to say, I appreciate you for calling in, and you know you got to call in on our next call-in show, man. Stop running. I need your input.
Okay.
All right, I appreciate you.
You got to hit me, because some days I get in here and I go right to sleep.
I believe you. I know you work hard. I got you covered. All right, thanks again.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. I love your show, bud.
All right, I appreciate you. Wow, that was a good call by Brother Mark Beckwith calling in. Magenta, he mentioned some things that I heard you saying a lot too. Talk about some things. Being white, you said something about your parents. You don't speak to your dad any longer?
No, I just recently stopped talking to him and my stepmom and my sister. And my sister made some comments about the activism work I do alongside with Pan-Africanism and the indigenous people's rights. And the way I see it is like with the type of stuff that I do with the activism, what happens with a lot of white people, especially the ones that are in my close circle, is if that starts to makes you look at your own racism within yourself. And you're either going to bucket that, or you're going to do what I've done in my life and take it and think about that and try to change that within you. And for those 3 individuals, they don't want to do that.
But that's terrible.
I'm not gonna, and I'm not gonna let them tell me how to be an activist or how to just be as a human being, and they certainly wouldn't, So if they're not gonna accept me as the way I am, to me, I'm just better off without. It's sad. It is what it is. But I stay true to who I am as a person. And I'm not going to let that keep me from doing what I do as an activist, and certainly not keep me from, allowing a man into my life regardless of his skin color.
That's terrible that you can't even speak to your father because of the racism that he has. Brother Jay Rich, go deep into that a little bit for me. How would you deal with that, being a black man trying, and I know you've had your experiences, so did you have any similar situations that come in between your relationship?
Yes, but not in the same manner. It was after maybe a year or two after my son and my daughter, my first son and my oldest daughter was born. My aunt just told me, we were riding We were riding in a car or something or what have you. And I don't even know if it was her or my cousin told me. He was like, my mother's been mad at you for like about a year or so now. And I'm like, for real? Because, she never said anything to me. And I'm like, for what? He's like, because you had a child with a white woman. And I was like, huh. And like she said, I had to stop and I had to think about it. My aunt grew up in a time of segregation. You know what I mean? She went to an all-segregated school. Her youngest sister was one of the first classes, you know what I mean, in PG County. She go to desegregated school, and she went through a lot. And it made me stop to think, you know what I mean, have I brought shame to my family? You know what I mean? Because they've gone through all of these things. And you know what I mean? They've been discriminated against. You know what I mean? My grandparents went down to Washington. They've gone to different places. They've gone to you know what I mean, on these marches. My aunts, and you know what I mean, they've been in restaurants with signs. You know what I mean? Where it was illegal for you to sit in certain places. It was illegal for you to be on certain parts of the bus. It was illegal for you to go. For you to be in certain places. Even where my grandparents live right now to this day, if you go up like a mile from there, my uncle always told me, he was like, yeah, man, you crossed that line, man. It was a bunch of white dudes sitting there waiting on you. You know what I mean? Black people were not allowed in their town. Black people were not allowed in their city. So when my cousin told me this, man, I took it to heart. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you. I took it to heart, and I'm like, maybe, you know what I mean, I disrespected them. Maybe, you know what I mean, because of what they've gone through. And I didn't take that into consideration. Only thing I was thinking was, hey, man, it's females, man. You know what I mean? Females throwing themselves at me, you know what I mean? I'm going to go and get it all. I was young, you know what I mean? I was like, I want it all. I don't care. And it makes you stop and think and start to look around. That's why I said I can't discredit, you know what I mean, Dr. Umar. I'm not saying that I agree with everything that he says, or maybe it was just the way he went about it. But if you were in a relationship with somebody and they understand that, when they go and meet your family and they understand that your family was down in Washington, they're not only down in Washington, your family was up in Baltimore. Your family was down in Southern Maryland. Your family was down in North Carolina. Your grandfather grew up as a sharecropper. To this day, I have family in Pennsylvania on my grandmother's father's side because I'm going to just tell you the whole story. My grandfather's father, my great-grandfather's father, was a slave owner in Luckett, Virginia. He could not marry his slaves, so they moved to D.C. and got married and had children. He grew up. My grandfather's father grew up and fell in love with this black Indian woman. You know what I mean? My great-grandmother. His brother got mad because they could pass as white. They were what you know what I mean, what we would now call proctors, because they could pass as white, you know. And he got mad that his brother was going to marry a black woman, what he's seen as a black woman. And so he stopped talking to her. They moved to Pennsylvania. He got married, had kids. And the only reason why I know about him because one day my grandmother was sitting there talking, and she was just like, you know, we have family in Pennsylvania, but I don't talk to him because he stopped talking to my father. He doesn't want anything to do with us. He doesn't want anything to do with us because his brother married a black woman. But what he sees is a black woman. So it goes both ways. When Brother Mark was talking about you have to understand that person's background, you have to understand that person's background because it's not just them. You know what I mean? The people around him are going to affect his decisions at times. But ultimately, if you two, you know what I mean, want to be together, then you're going to be together. And I don't feel as though anybody has the right, oh, you know, you're bringing down the community because you're with this person, you're being with that person. That doesn't bring down the community. What brings down the community is the unwillingness to accept people for who they are and then build together. That's what brings down the community. What brings down the community is our lack of communication with each other. That's what brings it down, not a relationship.
Before I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions, Magenta, but I wanna follow up with you on that, brother J. Rich. when he was talking about single black moms and things of that nature, and I want to talk about it in terms of the black family, and the respect that the black man and the black woman have for each other. Do you think that is a component of the interracial relationships that's going on? Is it more sexual, or man, I got her pregnant now and I might as well be with her? Is it like he said, the financial education part of it, where most white women will probably see or date maybe like an athlete or someone that goes to a college that is majority white? How does that impact the relationship between the black man and the black woman? Is that a issue where a strong black women or strong black men are dating outside the race financially and lack of respect for a woman? Does that make sense to you, what I was saying? I know it gave you a lot.
Now you're directing this at me. I'm sorry.
No, that was Brother J. Rich first. Brother J. Rich. Go ahead, Brother J. Rich. My bad.
Okay. I think it goes both ways. You know what I mean? Yeah, you see like a lot of black athletes, black male athletes, you know what I mean? Well, I can't even say you see a lot, because most of the time I don't see their wives, because I'm not concerned with, you know what I mean, with that part. But they make it seem prominent that a lot of black athletes, you know what I mean, marry white women. But across the spectrum, only 14%, you know what I mean, of black men marry outside their race. 14%. It's the highest percentage of black, white, and Hispanic and Asian, you know what I mean, 14 being the highest, but it's only 14%. So you're still looking at 86%, you know what I mean, within all races, married within their race, 86%. How I still can't wrap my mind how around the 14% is the damaging part. But anyway, you have, you know what I mean, and they say like, oh, you know what I mean, she only marrying him because of his money. But you think about it, you know what I mean, we all have like situations where we see a pretty white woman with what, you know what I mean, America has deemed as a thug-looking like black guy. And the first thing coming to mind is he must be dicking her down. That's it. That's the only reason why she could be with him. That's it. You know, or you see, you know what I mean, a pretty black woman with this average-looking white guy, and the first thing that comes to mind, he must make a lot of money.
Magenta, you want to go?
Stereotype.
You want to go in on that a little bit?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. These are totally valid. I mean, so, and I think that goes back kind of like to the fetish thing where the stereotype of the black community is so negative and so toxic, and the whole I got me a nice black guy, looks like a thug. Oh my God, I'm so cool. Look at me, I'm the coolest white chick in school or whatever. Like that stuff, like, I mean, like that's totally, like, I see that a lot as well. I 100% agree with what you're saying. And then on the other spectrum, you'll see like a white guy with like a black woman, but she can kind of come across as more like, she's basically a white person that's black, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So It's like, are these people really taking the opportunity to date outside of their race, to learn about another race of people, and to confront their own racism within themselves, or are they just basing it off of sex and fetish? And I'd like to also point out the fact, when I say I've been, if I've been intimate with someone outside of a race, it doesn't mean I was just having sex with them. That means like I'm sharing my thoughts, my dreams, sharing part of myself with them and learning about them. And that to me is what constitutes as intimacy. So someone could come and say, oh, I've slept with tons of black people or Hispanic people. Okay, what do you know about the culture? what do you know? Do you know anything? Do you know how to speak Spanish? Do you know anything about how to take care of hair in the black community and skin? Do you know about Pan-Africanism? Any of that? You know, and if you're not taking that as an opportunity to enlighten yourself, I can speak as for a white person, to enlighten yourself and confront that racism that's completely ingrained in us, then yeah, it's, to me, it just comes down to sex and fetish.
Yeah, that's deep there. That is deep. That sexual power is something. But also, if if you're attracted to someone, and you're sexually aroused by someone, I don't think you should turn it off just because of the color. You know what I mean? That's something that is naturally ingrained in us. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ask you guys a couple more questions, and then we're gonna close out. Brother Jay Rich, what do you say to someone that says, "Hey, man, I understand that we need to be, not be so racial as black people, and we can go outside of a race and things of that nature. It's whoever you love, but at the same time, they're going to also look at you and say, but we need black men in the families. We need to start thinking about race first." What do you say to a person that would say something like that?
To that person, I would ask him, where's his family? Show me your family. The second thing would be is that a lot of people, you know what I mean, with let's just say this, across the board within the black community, everybody agrees that the black man needs to be a part of that family. In speech, they'll say it. You know what I mean? Oh, the black man needs to be the part of the family. The black man needs to be in the home. Black man needs to be in the home. But then you turn around and you look at some of like the black men that are bending over backwards to be a part of that child's life, but they're never invited to be a part of the home. So, and it's these same people that'll turn around and be like, oh, I can't believe he's dating this person, or I can't believe he's dating that person. He dated you. He had a child with you. He tried to be a father. You know what I mean? He tried to not only be a father, but be a provider for his family that he was trying to build. You didn't want him. You don't want him in the home. You say, you know what I mean, oh, black men need to take care of their children, but you don't invite them to come into the home. And if he tries to set up a home and has a home for you to come there, it's just a bunch of mischief and nonsense, which takes me back to what the comment that I said before. You know what I mean? At some point, man, we have to stop and think about what it is that we're doing while we're out having fun. And we were all young and we've all done, you know what I mean, certain things and done different things. But at some point, you have to stop and you have to realize, like, all right, if I'm going to have a sexual relationship with this person, but I don't want to build a family with this person, then you need to start taking steps for family planning to make sure that doesn't happen. Everybody says that the black man should be, you know what I mean, a father. Everybody says that the black man should be in the home, but not everybody gives that opportunity for that black man to be a father. Not everybody gives that opportunity for that black man to be in the home. Sometimes, you know what I mean, that black man once and it's not across the board, you know what I mean, because then there's some black men that are well off that don't want to be a father. They'd rather just pay the child support and be like, leave me alone. I don't want to do that. And then there's some women that don't, you know what I mean, that just don't want the man there. Like, oh, you know what I mean, it was just fun then or whatever, but I don't want anything to do with you now. Some women that, you know what I mean, they say they're independent. Being independent and being a parent can be two different things. You know what I mean? You could be independent and a parent. You could still both co-parent while you're independent. You know, oh, I'm independent. I don't need no man. He can't come up in here telling me what I'm going to do and try to, you know what I mean, try to discipline my child and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? All of that stuff should have been discussed before, you lay down. All of it. You know, but we're young. You know what I mean? We're young and we don't think about these things, you know, but it's so much easier to look at someone being with someone else that don't look that looks different. It's so easy to judge that. But that same guy would have come to you in the club. That same guy would have approached you in school. That same guy would have approached you on the bus. That same guy would have approached you on the street. You wouldn't have had anything to do with him. But the moment that he finds somebody that does want something to do with him, you judge him on it. Or the woman that you don't want. You don't want it. You just don't want her to be with this guy. It's hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
Magenta, you being a white sister, you putting a lot of work in promoting the black movement and promoting the black cause. Do you feel conflicted at times? Do you feel conflicted at times? Do you feel that you're in a rock and a hard place? In some of your the things that you're doing in the black community, because I understood what you said when you started becoming more of an activist and things of that nature. Do you feel that conflicted at times? Because let me say this much, where the issues are in the black community economically and stuff, the movement to start supporting each other when we don't support each other and things of that nature. And you've been really pro for that. Is that conflicting for you? Do you have like mixed views sometimes? How does that go about your train of thought?
I've made peace with the fact that as a result of my activism, that will and has, and it will continue to cause a lot of white people are not going to agree and don't agree with stuff I say and stuff I do. I guess with that type of question, the way I look at that is with white privilege, we were afforded this type of luxury that people in the black community and the indigenous community, you're not afforded that luxury. So, like, the question, I have to ask a lot of them is, you're okay with, supporting athletes, buying the clothes, listening to the music. What are you are you willing to stand up for Black lives? What are you willing to put on the line in order to do that? And to be honest, a lot of times, there's no support, and it is what it is. And I don't think that's right. And that's something, that's a big part of what motivates me as an activist to change and to bring forth. And I'm determined that it doesn't have to always be like this. And I just feel like I have a calling. This is part of who I am, and I'm on this type of path I am on in my life. And I don't feel like I have to choose. One thing that I feel is really sad is I do see kids that are mixed feeling conflicted, and they do feel that are you white enough? You're too black. You're too much like your black side. You're too much like your white side. And these are all things like in the white community with white privilege. That's never something that a white person will never understand that. So I try to just see it in the eyes of someone else, and it's forced me to really look at a lot of the racism within myself and confront it and question it and to rise above it and use it to bring forth positive change in the world.
Well, someone had asked me my opinion of interracial relationships, and my stance on that is if you are in love or you love someone, you should be with the one that you love. You shouldn't fight any kind of feeling whatsoever when it comes to love and trying to build a family or anything of that nature. I'll never tell anyone to try to make something work or try to love someone that, that you don't love, and avoid loving someone that you do love. There is a movement, I do believe, that we should support. Black people don't have a history of not supporting each other economically, financially, and in the family. And that is something that we just have to do. So while other races may say, they don't have to say support white owned or support Chinese owned, they do that. We have to start saying race first, support black owned businesses, support businesses that are in your community. When you move out, give back to your community. And so I think that message is what Dr. Umar was saying. But when you start talking about love, it comes with a price. So I think that if you love a white person, and you have kids that are interracially or whatever the case may be, as a black person, you still should support your black community. You still should remember where you came from. You still should support black owned businesses so we can come to the table with other races, because right now they're having a table, and if we are at the table, we don't have any political power, any economic power to make a suggestion, to make a stance, to fight for anything. We are at the will of other people because we're losing that race. So I think the important thing is to support our race and start getting ourselves together. Educational wise, we are behind. And so I don't think that has anything to do with who you marry or who you date. I understand where he was coming from to a degree, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. 9 out of 10 times, it's like a black owned business. If I'm a black person, 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to hire people that's around me that are majority black. I'll probably hire somebody that's cool with me, that's white, because they are around me. 100% of the time, I'm around black people, so I'm going to hire black people. So I think that goes with being black. If you marry a white person, I don't think you should leave your community and disown them. I think you still have to fight for the cause to uplift more. And I think that was the struggle that maybe the brother wasn't seeing and he wasn't stating. Hopefully I got that across. Does that make sense to you, Brother J. Rich?
Yeah, that makes sense to me, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on. I'm going to let both of you guys give out some closing statements. And we may have to do this show again, but on Zoom, no more Skype. I tried it. It doesn't work. We're going to have to do Zoom. The Zoom works, and I'll just figure out a way to bring everything in. It's a way where I can bring in the phone calls and things. I just got to figure it out. But I definitely want to get you back on Magenta, because I want you're giving a powerful side. From a white person's side, that I think there are people need to understand how white people think. You may not. You can break down a white person that's pro-black, and you can tell us the white side that's against black people, and you can give us a different side. So, on saying that, I'm gonna let you close out first, and then I'm gonna go with my co-host Jay Rich and close out. And just give your thoughts on the show and any opinions you'd like to get across.
First and foremost, I'm just incredibly honored and humbled that you asked me to be a part of the show. So, yeah, I definitely say, love is love. And the thing that's beautiful about love is it crosses all lines and all borders and all obstacles. And it's not always going to be easy. But for me, it's a beautiful opportunity to bring really positive change, especially when you have children in an interracial marriage and relationship. And that definitely causes a lot of people to rethink their racism, because they the extended family members want a relationship with the grandchildren, the children. And so I just, it's definitely, I see sides, I try to see all sides of it as best as I can, coming from the white community. But I definitely, respect. I take it as a great opportunity to learn and learn about other people and other races and, grow from that. And just bring that positive change that's so needed into the world.
Man, thank you so much. And you were a phenomenal guest today. And again, like I said, we got to get you on more often. So we definitely going to hook up, and I definitely got to get you back on. Brother Jay Rich, you want to close out?
You got to.
Go. Hold up, Jay Rich. Go ahead, Magenta. What was you saying? Hold up, Jay Rich. What was you going to say something?
You got to pick your shirt up tomorrow too, right?
I got you. I won't forget. All right. Go ahead, Jay Rich.
Yeah, I would like to definitely know more about like the different movements and everything that she's in. Again, man, I think that once we start to accept ourselves as who we are, then we'll be cool with whoever somebody else is with. You know what I mean? It's out of our hands. But the biggest thing that I want to say is that if you don't mind, can I go off topic for just a moment?
Go ahead.
And, you know what I mean? You can go and close the show up.
Go ahead.
With all of like these, you know what I mean, stimulus checks and bonuses on like the unemployment, I think that this is an awesome opportunity for us to be able to build together and build like financially. I can't tell anybody what it is, what bills they got and what it is they need to do with their money. But if you could take a quarter, a small piece of that $1,200 and hook up with your cousin, hook up with your friends, and so on and so forth, take a little bit of that extra $600 coming in from the unemployment and put it to the side for the next 13 weeks. And by the time that this thing is over and you see that there's an opportunity because this store is closed, that store is closed, and you have that now, you have the chance to open up your own nail salon, your own barbershop, your own clothing store, your own whatever. Let's get business back in, and you have to save, you have to sacrifice and bring it together. Let this be a golden opportunity for us. You know what I mean? This is going to be like one of the biggest chances for us to be able to reclaim property within our own community since the start of segregation. And with that, hey, man, peace and love.
Peace and love, Brother Jay Rich. And before you guys leave, I think we had some technical difficulties earlier. Jay Rich, would you like to respond on the brother commenting on your hat being racist? I thought he was talking about the show, and then he commented back and said you had on a racist hat when we were live and we were buffing a little bit. Would you like to comment on that, brother?
Sure, why not? As you see, the Indian that's on the redskin hat is a black man because the black man was the indigenous man here in America. I have traced my roots from my grandfather's side all the way back to our great-great-grandfather, 10 times over that fought in the Revolutionary War. He was what America calls
slow down. Hold on, Jay Rich. Slow down. I want to make sure you're stuttering a little bit, brother. I want to make sure you're confident on what you're saying. Okay. Now, red skin, is that a racist name?
Okay. I don't think so. And I'll go into, first of all, for me, my grandfather is Indian. My grandfather is what we consider to be Indian, which is really, you know what I mean, Aboriginal man, which is the black man that was already here in America long before the European got here. It was the Moors that directed Christopher Columbus to come here. You got to study history and know what you're talking about.
Now, hold on. Now, you do know that you do know that there are what we would call American Indians or Indians that were, the Indians. They are against that name. What do you say to them?
There's some. Not all of them, because the part that my family is not.
Okay.
You have some tribes up in New York and so on and so forth, and the woman went around, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I have never talked to her. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if part of it was just a publicity, part of it was just to raise money, or if she actually felt that way.
How would you feel?
My family doesn't.
How would you feel if the mascot was Shaka Zulu and the name of the team was the Blackskins? The Blackskins. How would you feel on that, brother?
I have a Shaka Zulu jersey. Come on, brother. I mean, that's all black. That's all black. And that's the point that I'm trying to make to you, man. My family has a powwow every year. And you go down there and you tell them that they're not Indian and they're not allowed to wear a redskin hat. North Carolina. It's coming up in it. Well, I don't know if they're going to do it this year because of the COVID-19, but yeah, it will be coming up. It's around about this time every year. And you go down there and you look them right in the face and tell them like, oh, you can't wear that because that's racist. You're going to tell them what's racist to them.
As a black man, do you feel you are letting yourself down by rooting for such organizations that just suck? Do you feel like you're just a loser because of you're a Redskin fan or a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? Do you feel like you're a loser, brother? Do you feel like you need help? You need some kind of healing or saving? Talk to me. I got a Lamar Jackson jersey for you. I got something that will give you pride, that will make you a winner. Do you want to come home? Do you want to come home is what I'm asking you right now before I let you go.
I mean, do you have the trophies? Thank you. End of the conversation. You ain't got the trophies, bro. Then that's all that matters. You ain't got the trophies. Your greatest player ever is the kicker. Come on, bro. Come on, man.
I believe we got 3 Hall of Famers in the last few years. The Redskins have none. And I'll let you go on this. What do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers record will be this year, brother?
Man, I don't even know if they're going to play football this year, dog.
And on that note, I'm just going to hang up on you because you're just an awful person for rooting for a terrible team. You got 2 teams, so I had to let you go. Magenta, again, thank you for calling. Hopefully you're a Ravens fan. I don't want to have to get on you next time. So thank you again for hanging in there with me through all the technical difficulties.
I don't mess with NFL, so y'all just keep on with your. But I got my opinions. But that's another show.
You got it. All right. Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Peace.
Well, another powerful show. I want to shout out my brother Mark for giving us a call. We had my sister Magenta Praire. She gave a white person who was pro-black, who's putting a lot of work in the black community that deals with, she's in interracial relationships, I believe she said. And then we got my brother Jay Rich, as confused as he is about this NFL teams, He showed that he does have a little smarts and intelligence. So I want to thank both of them for being a part of it. And we may do this again because it was such a powerful show. And on that note, we are here. Peace and blessings, man. With another show. We did a lot of great work. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm sorry we had to log off on the first time because actually I don't know if it was a lot of people or the calling lines were stacked. I had to drop out and drop back in, but we definitely got it off and we definitely got the message. I believe the message is love who you're going to love. Care about building a family, love who you're going to love. But at the end of the day, remember that there's a goal to accomplish in the black community and make sure that you stay focused and dedicated to the black community. So on that note, we are out of here. Again, peace and blessings to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for the support once again. Tomorrow we have another powerful show. It'll be an interview, and I hope you guys can stay tuned to check that out. It's going to be a phenomenal show. We're dealing with a sister that she is phenomenal. She is a historian of African black history. She is going to be on here dropping some phenomenal knowledge. So hopefully we can get her on. Oh, we're definitely going to get her on. Everything is scheduled. And we'll do that. So we are definitely out of here. Peace and blessings once again. We are out.
Talking. One of them dealt with your views on interracial marriage.
Yes, sir.
And so, so explain that for folks who did not hear it.
Certainly. Simply put, any black man who is with a woman who's not an African herself is going to have a difficult time getting respect from me. I believe black men need to be with black women. The black family is under attack. Only 1 out of every 4 black women gets married. The black woman is last likely to get married. She's the last married, the first divorced. We have what? 2/3 of our children being raised by working class and impoverished single black female-led households. The destruction of a nation begins in the home of its families. And if we want to save black people, we have to save the black family. And in order to do that, black men have to commit themselves to black women.
So when you talk about not getting your respect, so if that's the case, you're saying President Barack Obama didn't get your respect because his dad married a white woman?
Oh, not at all.
With Harry Belafonte?
Not at all. I want to be very clear about something. As Pan-Africanists, the product of an interracial union is an African. I have heroes who are biracial. Some of the grandfathers of Pan-Africanism were of mixed racial ancestry. You don't blame a child for how they got here.
But I'm asking you this here. Harry Belafonte is a white woman. No respect for him?
It would be very. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your social status.
So no. That's the social. I'm talking about the one who put the work.
Right, but you put him out.
No. I'm asking you. So Harry Belafonte.
Yes, sir.
Sidney Poitier, Julian Bond, Vernon Jordan.
And you're naming all them to say what?
No, these are all African American men who have
done some good things.
No, who have married white women. But you said any black man who marries a white woman will not get your respect.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
And what I'm telling you is this: I don't care who you name. I don't care how much work you did for black people. Your greatest commitment to black people is being committed to a black woman. It is still a contradiction. No matter how much you think you did for the struggle, if you really were concerned with black people, you would have committed yourself to a black woman. So it doesn't matter how successful they are. It doesn't matter how great you may claim them to be. At the end of the day, you didn't think enough about your own people to marry a woman who looks like...
Hold tap.